here, this is a measure of bond market volatility, and this has been extremely tightly inversely correlated with the S&P. So if we just invert this move index, and then if I hop on up here and throw down the S&P on a new price scale over top of it, and then we just fit it like so, and let me zoom in a little bit so we can see this. Look at how tightly inversely correlated these two have been. So as bond market vol declines, the S&P has rallied. And see what's going on here? We're getting this, like these alligator jaws here. As bond market vol declined on the session today, but the S&P also declined. So declining bond market vol has been positive for stocks, basically since the April 7th tariff tantrum lows. Will this pattern continue? Who knows? But if bond market vol ticks up as the stock market sells off, then that would be a great leading indicator to watch. Continue to watch bond market vol through the move index. And that, you see this thing start to spike, maybe up around 85, that could mark the low for stocks if there's a correction that comes. Let me just share one or two other charts here. So here's total. This is total crypto market cap. Now, this is mostly made up of Bitcoin, but notice the level of support that Bitcoin found, the total crypto market cap has not found that level of support yet. So that would be another, what is that? 9 points to the downside, 9 percentage points to the downside. That would put Bitcoin like squarely in the 60,000 region. So, I think there's more room on the downside. And then if you take a look at something like Total 3, which is essentially altcoins, this Total 3, has broken down pretty convincingly, and maybe there's support here. So if I just throw down a horizontal there, we could say that maybe there's some support here. But what does that mean? That means, another 12% on the downside at least. But if you take a look at total DeFi, so the DeFi coins, this is mainly Ethereum altcoins, Ethereum DeFi protocol tokens. This is clinging to support. If this fails, if you lose that support, then you'd be looking at least down to right here, this level. But yeah, I don't know if that would even hold. So we could take a look at a move, if that fails, of another 22% on the downside. I definitely see opportunities to be short on breakdowns. And, this is accelerating to the downside. So Ramsey, what do you make of the private credit stuff? Have you been following any of that?
Yeah, I listened to Coin Bureau did a piece on it. The guy that really he think that is the subprime equivalent of the market. Like what happened in 2008. Private credit is could be the trigger for a major crash. I can dig up the article. He did a deep dive into private credit. He did one on Canada. He does this guy. I forgot his name, but it's definitely people said it's not like watch the spread, on these things, and I don't understand it profoundly, but it's one of the culprit that we have to watch very carefully. And what's his name there? The guy who showed it as well, the 2008 subprime is, I forgot his name.
Michael Burry. Yep.
Yeah, he was like negative on it as well. So he's watching. And the AI deflating as well is like this bubble, artificial intelligence is finally what you've been saying early last year in the middle of this, in the summer, that they're not justifying anymore the revenue from versus what you're spending. So that is really causing a big problem for the market as well. So there's a lot of seed money that is being invested. Like OpenAI is saying that is not impressed. Sam Altman talked today as well, that he's not impressed by he was expecting more revenue to come in. So he's launching now, we will support more drug discovery, and stuff like this. He's trying to drum up some kind of application for the AI, but there's definitely not enough revenue compared to the amount you invested in the artificial intelligence boom here.
Yeah, no kidding. And I think that, Google's earnings tomorrow afternoon after the close will be, kind of the make or break moment, at least for the next couple of weeks. If, if markets sell off, if Google sells off after earnings, that would probably be the final straw to just push the S&P and the Nasdaq down below their 100-day moving averages, and that would likely get the VIX up above 20, and then you could start to see, a little bit more volatility for the next couple of weeks, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. We'll see, we'll see. So,
Like
Dan,
long, like a leap Google 400 call, like bought it like long before when the stock was around 300. It's trading at 343. It was $20 a call. Now it's trading at $31, $32 a call. And I don't know, I'm keeping it for could be a positive surprise because the way, like as a trader, it's Google and Hyper. They're two stocks that are bucking the trend here. Like they could be the surprise for the market. And if the market turn around on any positive news, Hyper will go to 50 and Google goes to 400. So that's it's I got 12, almost 11 months long call on this one.
yeah, I really don't think that markets just roll over and die or anything like that. But a correction is overdue. Taking a look at Hyperliquid, though, what a big topping tail. This is a big reversal intraday for hype. If we just zoom in here on the hourly, that is a pump and dump. So, that is if we just zoom out here even further to a weekly instead of a daily or an hourly. Actually, the weekly candle doesn't look all that bad. But if you zoom into a daily, this looks like some type of a topping tail wick like this. So, but on the weekly, it doesn't look that bad though. So this could actually continue higher. Yeah, hype, they generate a ton of cash flow. That is super important for these DeFi protocols. Yeah, Dan, go ahead, man. I see you've got your hand raised.
No, just a quick one before you move forward. You mentioned last week Canton. Are you still bullish on it, or have you been following it?
Sure. Yeah. So I've been following it. I haven't entered any positions because I can't gain access to this token from a DeFi wallet. It just doesn't exist. I would have to, trade some synthetic, and I just don't want to do that. But this is starting to break support and also starting to roll over a little bit. So I'm just going to continue to watch this one. I'm not quite sure exactly how the CC token is used on the Canton network. I haven't done enough work on the Canton network itself yet to really feel comfortable. And I would never trade just the synthetic for something like this. I would need to, be able to hold it, and I can't do that. So I'm just going to sit on the sidelines and watch this one. But it had been bucking the trend, as Bitcoin, ETH, and the rest of the digital asset space sold off. Canton was actually up. And, earlier in the session today, Canton was, as high as 19 and a half cents. Now it gave it all back and has since closed and broken down below this level of support here, but it'll be interesting to watch. Definitely interesting to watch. I'm not going to take any position in this for the time being, though.
Yeah, another one like Zcash, if you can look at it too. Like I didn't buy it yet, but I'm thinking. But
Yeah, so, again, I don't know enough about the network here. I had read that there was some type of 51% attack on the Zcash network, or that, some of the miners were working to, essentially control the network itself. I know that this is a privacy coin. I mean, take a look at that big move, but now that, this level of support has broken to the downside, I don't think there's any reason to think that this thing stops before getting back down to $75.
mm,
So yeah, privacy is great, but this looks like just a speculative parabola. And now that it's broken support, I mean, maybe you could say that it pauses at like 190, but no, I think 75, maybe something like that.